All right, I hope you can see my screen and you can hear me properly. Good. Okay. So let's start with the today's session with a quick and crisp understanding or revising of yesterday's session, right? Yesterday's session. So the new topic that we learned was a data type that was string, right? And this is the today's lecture will be extended session of this particular string topic, right? So what is string? String is nothing but like any text or any number, like number, or any character, not character I'm getting, but now any character is inside any either double quotes or triple quotes, or or even in single quotes, are called as string, right? Are called as string. So anything which is inside this is called as string, right? So what happened? Someone was there, and then there is. Okay, anyways. Okay, got it. So now, right, let's go to next. The next topic that we understood is indexing in string, right? How to do indexing. Like the first thing, what is indexing? Indexing means kind of giving numbers to any element in the string, right? Any element. Like initially we considered Python as a string, then we gave numbers to it, like 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, right? This is called as positive indexing. When we give from left to right, right? Like from this to this direction when we go, then we called it as positive indexing, right? Positive indexing. Let me just make it more bigger. Okay, this is quite bigger. So this is called as positive indexing, and positive indexing starts from 0, right? So the very first number will be 0, then y will be 1, 2, 3. And when we talk about negative indexing, it starts from right to left, right? So we will count like this from n, then o, then h, then t, right? So n will be -1, then -2 will be o, -3 will be h, -4 will be t, -5 will be y, and so on, right? And so on. So this is what we have written down here, right? This is what we have written down here. So positive indexing means positive indexing starts from left to right. It starts from 0 to goes to positive infinity. Whereas negative indexing, it starts from right to left. It goes from -1 to negative infinity. Right? Then we also understood what is length function, right? Length function. तो यहाँ पर ये it should be like this, length function. So it is denoted like this, like this. This is the syntax, right? This is the syntax. So let's understand, let's assume there is one string, hello world. So if you want to know how many elements are there in this particular string, you can use this len function, right? Len function. So you just have to write like this length of string, right? Length of string. So how it will get count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then space will also get count 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, right? If I run this, I will get 11 as output, right? 11 as output. Then we also talked about how to access the element from any string, right? Any string. So this was string as Python, right? String as Python. So if I want to access p, if I want to access p, what I'll write is string of, right? This string of, I will say 0. So p will be at 0th position, right? P will be at 0th position. So if I run this, I will get p, right? This p. So we just learned, right? Like p will be 0, then y is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like write this. And if I want to write go in the for the negative indexing, So n will be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and p will be -6. So if I want p again, and if I do -6, so what I will get? I will get p, right? I will get p. So this is how you can get you can get the you can access the elements, right, from any string, right? So this is about it. Then these are some examples of positive indices. Let me just delete these one. And these are some examples of negative indices, right? And then we took one long string, and these were some examples that I have given you to solve. Like these were some questions, like, right? So string of 0 will be C, right? String of 0 will be C. So we got C. String of -1 will be this particular dot, right? String of 5, what 5 will be? Like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It should be E. So we got E, right? And -5, it is like this, right? -1, -2, -3, and -5 was R. R was -5. So we also talked about this length function. If there is like very long string that you have, right? If you have very long string, you can't really count. So if I want to access this last unit, right? Last unit, and I don't have support of this particular string of -1 because negative indices will be -1. But you can also get to know like calculating the length of the string. So we got the length of the string as 80, and then we just -1 because the starting index was 0, then 1, 2, 3, and so on till 79. Then if I say string of 79, it would give you this dot, right? Then we talked about string slicing, right? Slicing. So what is slicing is, so there are three elements. So there are three elements. First is start index, then end index, then there is a step size. Okay, the step size. So initially, let's understand these two indices, two things: start index and end index. So assuming string as Python again. Okay, string as Python again. So I want to have only py out of Python, complete Python. I don't want p, I don't want y, I don't want p. I want completely py. So what I will do is I will do I will no I will take string, right? I will take string, then for p, to get p, I will add 0, right? 0, and then for me to get y, what I will do? So p is 0, then y is 1, then I will add a 2 here, right? 2 here. Why? So consider that you have a scissor in your hand. Consider that you have a scissor in your hand and you want to cut this py out and thorn different, right? So but you want py as an element. So if you go and use your scissor on t, so t will get sliced out and you will get py, or thorn will get sliced out and you will get py out of it, right? Out of it, like this, like this. Py will be out of the string. So you have to have when you slice it, you have to add the next elements number here, right? Next elements number. So p is 0, y is 1, then you will add 2 here, so that t will get sliced out and you will get initially pi as output. So if I run this, you will get pi as output. So similarly I've written this line: default of start index is 0. Default of start index is 0. So initially we used 0 here. So what if I don't write 0 here, but still I've got the same? Because if you don't mention anything, the default of start index is 0. So this 0 is the start index, 2 is the end index, right? Start index and end index, right? Start index and end index. And then I have also said default of end index is length of the string, length of the string. So let's understand this another example, that is string of 0 is to 6, right? 0 is to 6. So I wanted this Python as whole, Python as whole. So what I give is 0 is to 6, 0 colon 6. So I've got this complete Python. But if I check the length of the string is what? That the length of string is 6. It means if I replace this 6 with the length of the string, it will look like this, 0 and length of the string. Similarly, that is what I was telling here. The default value of end index, the default value of end index. So यहाँ पर we add length of the string was length of the string. So this is how we get to know that the second end index is always, the default value is always length of the string, right? So let's take some another example, like string 2 is equals to hello world, and if I want complete string again, so I will say string 2, and let's say I don't know the end, right? So what I will say, length of string 2. I don't know what is the end, right? So if I run this, I will get complete string, right? Complete string. So then we talk about step sizes. Step sizes. So whenever we talk about step sizes, consider Mr. Mario. So we played a game called Mr. Mario in our childhood, right? Mr. Mario, if you want to look how we look, Mr. Mario game, right? Mr. Mario game. So this is Mr. Mario. Let me just show you the image. So he is Mr. Mario, right? He always jumps from one element to another element, right? Like this, like this. So whenever you learn about step size, consider your Mr. Mario is standing at W, right? Standing at W. Now, if you set up a step size as 1, so you tell Mr. Mario, walk one element each time, right? So if I let me just comment this out. So if I say step size, so this weather is a variable, we stored inter is coming as a string, and if I run this, I will get complete string, right? So 15 is something till here. So if I write 16 here, I will get complete string, right? I will get complete string. So here I have set up a step size is equals to 1. So Mr. Mario will walk on each element and he will give you complete string. But if I say step size as a 2 here, as a 2, so Mr. Mario will jump on every second element. So Mr. Mario will jump on W, then N, then E, right? W, then N and E, then space and somewhat, right? And similarly, if I say Mr. Mario jump one third number, so W, then T, then space, right? Like this, W, then T, and then some space, and then N, right? So this is how you can understand the step sizes, right? Always consider Mr. Mario as an example, right? Always consider Mr. Mario as an example to understand what is step size. Okay, so this is how the step size was. Then we also talked about negative index slicing, right? Negative index slicing. This doesn't make sense, but let me just tell you. So every time, if you want to slice, anything, like this was the string, so I wanted to slice in a negative indices, not only positive, in a negative indices. So what I did is, so every time you have to make sure the you know smaller number should be at the initial, then larger number at the end, right? So minus 15 is smaller than minus 7, right? Minus 15 is a smaller than minus 7. So this is how, let me, 1 second, let me run this, and then we got learning. So what is minus 15? Minus 15 is, so n is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and so on. L is minus 15, right? L is minus 15. And what is 7? Then again, n is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and this space is minus 7. So what left is learning is what is left. So if you do the slicing with a negative indices. So generally we don't use negative indices, but I'm just giving you some example. Here you can also have a combination, but provided that you need to mention the larger number or the smaller number at the initial, but it just works because there are some indices. You can just skip that. And then we understood this classic example or classic question that is being asked always in the interviews. So what the interviewer will say, given a string, right? Given a string, reverse the string without using reversed function, right? Reverse or reversed function. So there are reverse and reverse function in the Python, but we don't have to want to use this function. We just like this string is given and they want this string exactly ulta, exactly reversed, like n should be first, then o, and then so on, right? So what you have to do is you just have to mention this, the you know step size as -1. You don't really have to mention the you know uh, start index and the end index. So logically how this should be is string of 0 is to length of string, you know, and then -1, then -1. But the default value of start index is 0, default value of end index is length of string, and then we are just adding negative step size. So this will also give me same output. It should have. mm, Okay. Basically here you don't have to mention anything. One second. Length of string. So this is this. Okay. Anyways, remember this. This is the output. This is the code that you need to. I will just check why this did not really work. But anyways, this is the answer of your question, right? This is the answer of your question. So let me just write answer here. Okay. So the question is here, you just need to reverse the string. The string is given like this, and the answer is this. Only this very simple answer, right? So you just have to mention nothing in the start index and the end index, and you just have to use minus as a negative step size, right? Then we additionally learned about what we learned is string addition, right? So we gave string 1 as a Python, string 2 as some space and some letter. This some space and some letter. And then we simply use addition operator and we got the addition of the string. But we were curious about whether the string can also be subtracted, but negative operator does not really support it in the string. Basically you cannot minus any string from any another string, it will throw some error, right? So this is about yesterday's topic. So let's learn some functions in string today. Okay, some function in string today. So I hope this is clear. If this is clear, just type yes in the comments. Everyone, if this is clear, type yes in the comments. Type yes in the comments. Nice, nice, nice. Let's go, let's go. So let's learn functions. So let's learn functions in in strings, right, or string. So the very first is you know capitalize. Capitalize. What happened? The very first is capitalize, like this. Okay. The very first is capitalize. So what is the meaning of capitalize? Basically, it should capitalize something, right? Capitalize is basically it capitalize with only the zeroth indexed letter, right? It capitalize only zeroth indexed letter, like this. It capitalize only only a zeroth index letter. Okay, zeroth index letter. So let's understand what by some example. Okay, let me just take language as a variable and store Python as a word. Again, Python comma or whatever. Let's keep it Python. Okay. So what I want is I want this P as a capitalized. I want this P as a capitalized. So what I will do is I will use this lang. This is also one of the alternative. The whatever the let's accept this and comment this out. Just keeping for example. Okay, so I want to use this capitalize function. I want to use this capitalize function. I don't want to write these long code, right? I don't want it. So what I'll do is capitalize. I will use capitalize and give these parentheses. Give these parentheses. And if I run this, now what I've got is P as a capital. P as a capital, right? Isn't it easy? Quite easy. So if you use capital as only this function, you will be like you don't really have to use this. So let me just uncomment this one and this one and this one. Let's comment out. So what you will get? You will get the similar output, right? You will get the similar output. So what they have done is they have used like language as the access was zeroth element. What is zeroth? Is P. Then applied the upper function. We will learn this upper function also, and then in addition they just added the rest you know function. So if you just let me just tell you. So the very first thing was this. The very first thing was this. So initially, from this Python, they took only P. Okay. Let's pick. So this P has come very capitalized already. So if I run this, P is now smaller. So if I add upper, so P will get capitalized basically, but this is a function. And then they took this, right? They took this. So if I run this now, what I will get? Ithon, right? Ithon. So very first element, what is first element? So P is 0, then Y is first element, then at the end they wanted everything, right? This is everything. Then we got Ithon, and then they just kind of did the addition of couple of strings. This is the addition. If I run this, we will get actually nothing. And then if I say string is equals to string, and if I return string, then I will get something. What happened? Acha, yeah, upper function चाहिए. Okay, now I will get Python, right? Python. So this is same, but let's not get bother about it. So let's come to the topic again. The very first topic was capitalize, right? Capitalize. What capitalize will do, it will capitalize only zeroth indexed letter, right? Zeroth. So now this is Python. What is zeroth index is P. P is a zeroth index. So it will just capitalize the very first word as capital. It will capitalize. That's what it does. Nothing else, right? Nothing else. So if I let's take some more example. Example is equals to uh, 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 let's take it from internet. Uh, Anything. Let's talk about Mr. Mario. Right, Mr. Mario. And this is the long string that we have. But we don't really have this yes as capital. We have this small, right? Small. So what I will do is uh, I will just use this example dot capitalize function, and then ultimately this yes will get capitalized like this, right? Now you can see yes is capitalized. So this is quite easy, right? This is quite easy. Let's understand the another function is which is upper. Okay, upper. So we just kind of had a small glimpse of upper, but what upper does is mm, let's take the same example. Okay, instead of example, let's rename this and give games. Okay, games. So what I want is I want this entire string in a capital in upper letter. So I will use this upper function, right? Upper function. If I do this upper dot upper, then this entire string will get capitalized, right? Will get capitalized. So what upper function does is it capitalize everything, right? It capitalize everything, right? So the very next function, these are very small function, and I hope you are understanding this. If you have any question, you can raise your hand like this, like this. Otherwise, you can type your question, right? Type your question in comments, right? Type your question in comments. So the next function is lower, right? The we just learn upper. Now let's learn what is lower. So mm, auto detect. Let's try auto detect from where. Okay, it is not detecting anyway. So we want we wanted this string, right? We wanted this string. So now let's basically get this somewhere. So basically some variable is into completely in upper form, but I want to lower it now, right? Lower it now. So what I will do is I will do dot and then just type L. So you can see some 3 4 functions that it is coming. L lower and L strip. Then we just took selected lower, and then if we run this again, we will convert the all the capitalized string into a lower string, right? Capitalized string into lower string. Understood? So this is how the lower function works. This is how the lower function works. So the very next is, so these are very small and easy to understand functions, right? The next is title. Okay, title. So the name suggests it will title the given string. So if you go on the internet and or if you find any newspaper, English newspaper in your home, you will see every title looks like this. So let's say country, as in, you know, India is my country, and all Indians are my brothers and sisters. Okay, all Indians are my brothers and sisters. So if I want to make this a title, so initially the title doesn't look like this. This does not looking like a title. So I want to make this title, right? I want to make this title. So what I will do is I will type dot and I will type T. So you can see title has appeared, and then just I will just add this parenthesis, and if I run this now, you can see the entire string has converted into title. So what is title means? So every word's first index will be capitalized, will be capitalized, right? Every word's first index is capitalized. So India's first index is I capitalize, M capitalize, C capitalize, A capitalize, and so on. So this is mean title. So if you want any string in a title, you use this title function, right? You use this title function. So the next function is kind of interesting function. It's kind of an interesting function. It's called left left strip. It's called as left strip. What is this? L is a left. Let me just write this. L strip is equals to left strip, and strip means remove spaces, right? Strip meaning the meaning of strip is removing spaces. Okay, removing spaces. L means left, strip means removing spaces. So let's take one example. Let's take one example. The same example. Let's take this same example. But what happened is when you got this particular data, there was very unnecessary space at the end, right? So this is very unnecessary space. I don't want this space, right? I don't really want this unnecessary space. So what I will do is I will use this left stripping function, right? So what I will do is country dot L, and then there is L strip, and I will just add these parentheses. So it will go in this particular string, find if there are any unnecessary space at left area, only left area, and it will remove it, right? It will remove it. Simple, simple. So this is how it is. Like you can also add, you can also add like more. Let me just country is equals to country, and if I just print country, we will get like this. But what if I want multiple functions that we have learned to be added, right? So I can do that, right? I can do that. So if I say I want to capitalize this, so I can again like capitalize India as well, right? India as well. So you can basically have multiple functions in line. So you can also do that like country dot upper and then some function. So it will get capitalized the entire string, right? So you can use multiple functions in same operation on same operations. So this is just I wanted to give some example. So what I will do is I will just copy this, I will just paste this, and I will kind of remove this. Okay, okay. So I hope you have understood these functions. The first was capitalize, which will capitalize the first key or first element, right? Then there is a upper, which will not, which will capitalize the entire string, right? Entire string. Then we understood what is lower, which will lower the entire string. So we had this capitalized entire string, then we got lowered entire string. Then we also talk about title. So title will capitalize entire first word every time, right? Then there is L strip, right? L strip will remove unnecessary space, remove unnecessary space. Uh, it won't give me right spelling. Anyways, and then let's understand some other others methods. So we just understood L strip. Let's understood R strip, right? R strip. So what is R strip is? It is it is a strip strip meaning is removing unnecessary unnecessary space. Okay, unnecessary space. So let's take the kind of the same example of country. Come on, okay, country. So instead of having this right space, let's take space at the end. Okay, at the end. So at basically right location. So if I say strip of country, basically country dot r strip, right? Country dot r strip. And if I print country, what will happen is the unnecessary space at the end, or basically at the right side of the string will get removed. You can see there is no space here now, right? There is no space here now. This is all about. There is nothing more special here, but there is one function which is called as only strip. So what if like I have, you know, how I like if there are space at both the ends, space at both the ends. So what I will do is I will use this only strip function, like country dot strip. You know, there are these many functions, right? Country dot strip. So it will find this unnecessary space at both the end, and it will just remove the unnecessary space from entire string, right? From entire string. Any questions till now? Any questions till now? If you have any questions till now? I hope this is clear. Okay. If you have any questions, please type in the comments. Okay. Please type in the comments. I'll just wait for 10 seconds. If you have any questions, type in the comments. So let's learn some other functions. Okay, no questions. Let's learn some other functions, right? The next function is swap keys. Okay, the next function is swap keys. So what is swap keys? So let's take the same example. India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. Right? India is my country. So I just don't want this spaces. So I use strip. Okay, I use strip, but I want capitalized also. So what I will use is title, right? Title. So now, oh come on. So now the string look like this. Right? The string look like this. It is equals to country, and the country does look like this. So now the string look like this. So if I use this country as a word here in a independent, it will look like this. I is capital, all everything like the first letter, all first letters are capital and there are no space, right? There are no space. So what I want to do is I want to swap the cases. Basically, this is in I is in uppercase, right? And India is in small case. Similarly, I is uppercase, S is small case. So I want to swap this. So what I will do is I will say swap all the cases. So here I will become in small letter and other the small letters will become in upper cases, right? So what happened? Whatever the cases that those letters had, those just got those just got swapped to the other one. जो लोअर थे वो अपर हो गए, जो अपर थे वो लोअर हो गए, राइट? सिंपल है, सिंपल है. यस, इट इज सिंपल. इसमें कुछ और डिफिकल्ट है नहीं, लाइक लॉजिकली. So this is about it. If still there are any questions, you can add in the comments. Add in the comments. So let's learn about some other functions such as replace. So this is one of the function that will be basically used quite often. So some questions also will get asked. So let's say one string as in, you know, Python is fun. Okay, Python is fun, right? And some suggestions that we are getting is, let's not take the suggestions. So if you want to use this replace function, so instead of saying Python is fun, I want to say Python is enjoyable, right? Python is enjoyable. So I want to replace this fun word from to the enjoyable word, right? So I will say string, dot replace. Instead of fun, I want to say easy, right? Or I wanted to say enjoyable actually. So let's say that, right? What was the enjoyable? Okay, enjoyable. Instead of saying fun, I wanted to say enjoyable. So Python is enjoyable, that I should get, right? So if I say like this, so the fun word has been replaced with enjoyable. So what is the syntax? You just have to say string dot replace, and then you just have to add a word which you want to replace and add a word which you want to replace with, right? Which you want to replace with, right? Quite simple. Yes, simple, right? Simple. One more example. Let's take this kind of one more example. String of maybe dot, replace. So instead of fun or instead of Python, you know, instead of Python, I want to say data science. ये गलत हो गया है. We can say instead of Python, right? Instead of Python, I want to say data science. So now this Python will get removed to data science. But this is not the same Python. The P is not there. P is not capital. So let's type P as a capital, right? Because Python is a case sensitive language. So let's replace this. Now you can say data science is fun, right? Data science is fun. But you will say, sir, like we did the changed to enjoyable. Why fun is there always again? But we did change, but the changes are not there in stored in this particular string here, right? So you can say like this: string is equals to string. Now if you run this, and now if you check string, it will say string is Python is enjoyable. And now this particular string is has been updated. This variable has been updated with the new changes, that is enjoyable. And if I run this now, it will say data science is enjoyable, right? The previous changes. But again, if I again if I check what is the status of string, it will say Python is enjoyable because we have not stored these changes anywhere. And where we store usually changes in variables, right? In variables. So to store any changes in variables, we use equals to as an operator, right? So if I want to store changes in any variable like string 2, so it will look like this. So string is like this, and string 2 is like this. Data science is enjoyable. Okay. So this is variable that we actually learned in previous lectures. So I hope this is clear. No confusion. No confusion. If there is no confusion, let's type no. No, no confusion. Okay. Or if there is any confusion, we can talk again or tell me if yes, there is confusion. Otherwise, I'm going for next function, that is delete, right? So delete is written as del, right? No confusion. No, 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 no. Okay. So if you have any questions, type in the comments. So let's understood about del function, which is known as delete. So this is used for deleting any variable. So string two that we know is this, right? Data size is enjoyable. But if I want to delete this particular string, I will just use del initially, right? Del initially. If I run this, and now if I go and check if there is string 2 present, it will say no, I'm sorry, it is not defined, right? It is not defined. So this is del function. So we should not really use this, but like if you want to clear the system, you don't want any particular string or any variable, you can use delete as del as a function, right? Del as to delete the function, right? So this is also kind of a easy one. So we are learning very easy functions. So len, this is length function that we already have learned. So please type in the comments what is length, right? Length function. What does len function do? What does len function do? Please type in the comment what does len function do? What does len function do? Right? I'll just come back here until and and meanwhile let's learn the next function, that is count. Okay, count function, that is count function. So let's take this string 1 or string again. So string is Python is enjoyable. Okay, Python is enjoyable. So Mr. Vivek says calculate the length of the string, size of the string. Okay, both the answers are right. Okay, both the answers are right. So basically we use to calculate the length of the string, right? Length of the string. So let's take string and then length of the this, and if I run this, we will get how many letters, characters, are there inside any string. But what does this uh, count do then, right? So this is string, right? String is this like this. So if I say mm, you know length function will give me the length, but count function will give me, let's say, count of, particularly any word, any word, count of any word, right? Count of any word. So if I run this, I will get Python as has appeared once in the string. So let's make it more understandable. Let's create another string. String is equals to Python is fun. I really like Python. Python मेरी जान. Okay, Python मेरी जान. Nice. So we have this long string. We have this long string. But now I want to check how many times Python is there in the string. Right? Python is there in the string. So if I run this, I will get 2 times. But we'll say there are 3 times Python, Python, Python. But this Python is with small p and other Pythons are with capital P, right? Capital P. So that is why we are getting 2 times, right? And if I say like string dot count dot small Python, it will say once, right? इसको string कर देते हैं. It will say once because small p Python is it's once, right? It's once. So it will count. Let me just add some text here. Count function. It will count the occurrence of words in the string. Okay, the occurrence of words in the string. The occurrence of words in the string. Okay. So the count function will basically count what is the occurrence of any particular word in the string, right? Easy hai? Easy hai? Easy hai? So let's go to next function. Let's go to next function, that is index. So ये index function is very much useful when we have a very long string. So let's take some long string. Um, Python is fun. I really like Python. Okay, the same string that we are taking, right? So what if I want to understand? What if I want to understand this? Um, L, particularly L location, right? So I won't type like this, like count like this 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 8, and then I don't know. I will lose the count. So here the index function comes into picture. So I will say string dot index, index, and then I will say L, right? L. So I want this L to be get count. So I will get the location as 24, right? As 24. So to verify, we don't really should verify. But if I say like this, we will get L, right? We will get L as the index. So this is how it is. It will find you and help you to understand what is the location of any particular word. So if I say like this, like string dot index dot let's say Python or small py Python, it will also tell me the location, that is 29th pay this small Python is there, right? So it will give you long word as well, right? Long word as well. But what if I say string dot index dot you know um, Pakistan, Pakistan हो गया वो, स्थान ही है शायद. So it will say, okay, Pakistan तो है नहीं यहाँ पर, right? Pakistan is not there. So because Python is there. अच्छा, India is my country. I had that in my mind. So instead of Pakistan, let's say Java. Okay, so it will again say substring not found. because in this particular string there is no particular that word, right? So if you get some output like this substring not found, like mind that this particular word will is not there in your string, right? In your string. So I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. So if you have any questions, type in the comments. Otherwise, I'm moving to some another mm, kind of a similar function that is also called as find, right? So we say index, then find is something kind of similar, like string is equals to uh, India won the cricket World Cup in 1998, 1983 and 201, 2011. Okay, 2011. So if I say string dot, no string dot find 1983, ये find करना है. So it will give me kind of a similar answer as this is at 35th location, right? 35th location. Or if I say string dot find dot, let's say 2011, it will give me location of this, right? Location of this. But but what is the difference of find and index is, so if I say where is that, 202025, okay, 2025, basically 2025 is not in the string. So if I do with the index it will throw me some error, but find will say -1, right? -1, because it thinks that after particularly this string the 2025 is there, right? So this is its understanding. So if you want to use this function and you don't want to let your code throw some error and you want your code to be get running even though there is, the word doesn't is not there, then basically you can use find instead of index, right? Index. So this is it, and I think it's about time. So quickly revising these functions. So there are few more functions that tomorrow we will learn. So quickly revising. So capitalize is capitalize. It will capitalize your first letter of any string, or if it is even longer string, we'll still consider only first element. Okay, first element. Then upper will basically convert entire string into upper form, whereas lower will lower the case of your string. Then there is a title. Title is something that it will convert every first element of each word into a capital. Then there is a L strip and right R strip. Those will remove unnecessary spaces from left to right. But if you want, combine like only one, function, it will remove the left and right space. You can only use strip as a function. Then we talked about swap case. Swap case will basically swap all the cases. If you have a word with uppercase, it will convert into lowercase. If you have lowercase, it will convert into uppercase. Then we learn about very useful function, that is replace. So you just have to add any word that you want to replace with any word with which you want to replace. So I wanted to replace fun with enjoyable, so I did that. Then there is a delete function which will delete any string from the system. So this is how you do it. Then there are length and count function. Length will give you, it will give you length of the entire string, whereas count, this function will count the, words from your system, like from your length, from your string. So we had this Python twice. So we got this. Its answer as 2, whereas with small p we had only 1. Then index will help you to find out any word where this word is located, right? The first element, and whereas the find will do the same basically, right? So this is all about today. If you have any questions, type your question in the comments, or let's discuss, open your mic and we can talk. Otherwise, let's type big win today. Let's type a big win today. So yeah, guys. Hmm, चलो ठीक है. Then let's close today's call. Have a good rest of the day. Bye bye.